Hello everyone, welcome to the IWBF Men's Repechage 2026, the qualifiers for the IWBF World Championship, which will take place in Canada in September. And our first game of day two, which pits the Netherlands and the host nation, Thailand. Netherlands with an impromptu day off yesterday, taking on Thailand, who agonizingly lost out to Korea in their opener. A warm hello to everyone watching wherever you are across the world. John Hobbs on hand as we bring you action at day two here in Suphanburi, the indoor national stadium, playing host to the 2026 IWBF Men's Repechage. So we're just under 2 minutes away from tip-off. Our starting fives for this contest for the Netherlands: Frank de Jong, Robin Poggenvish, Anel Shehil, Heis Even and Ari Tvig will be starting for the Netherlands. For Thailand, it's the same starting five as they put out yesterday against Korea. Thanakorn Lananachai, the number one, Kwanchai Pimkorn, Adasik Kaubu, Panaskorn Siprom, and Asakit Jumrin. Three officials assigned this contest today from Uruguay, Australia, and China. Diego Borghini from Uruguay, Ethan Lloyd from Australia, and Xishang Zheng from China. As we get set for day two. As Thailand hit the floor, they'll be playing in blue. The Netherlands in their infamous white and orange. In what was an action-packed day one yesterday, day two certainly will follow. So we are set as Siprom and Even get us underway, and Ari Tvig gets the first possession off and running for the Dutch. And straight away a score and a foul. As Heis Even going inside right off the tip, 9 seconds in. Simple but effective basketball from the Netherlands. And Heis Even makes the extras, so the Dutch off to a good start, 3-0 against the host nation. Pimkorn. Lovely pass inside the give and the go. Pimkorn can't get it to go off the feed from Lananachai. Here is Poggenvish, who will no doubt drive this Dutch offense, as he has done many a year. Whistle has gone. Even, Tvig. Tvig looking for Even, the ball is loose. They pass it to Tvig. Tvig doesn't get it to go. Almost a broken up horns play there, but it nearly paid dividends for the Dutch. It will be a Thailand ball. Early doors here at the Suphanburi Indoor Stadium on another sweltering day here in central Thailand, as Siprom misses the long two. Had a double-double yesterday against Korea, but they only shot 26% against their Asian counterparts. Offensive foul is the call on Poginvish, and that'll be his first personal. Here is Pimcorn. Kwanchai Pimcorn still has it. Here is Jumrin. The midi is good. Ari Tvig. Looking for Poginvish. Instead he goes it alone and rattles it home. And the Dutch out to a 5-2 advantage early doors in the first. Siprom. Jumrin goes again from the mid-range at the other side. This time it's off. And Poginvish the rebound. De Jong and Tvig on the wing. There is Tvig. Trying to get the screen from De Jong. There is the pick and roll that he doesn't use. The extra man is even. Kwanchai Pimcorn with the ball. Thailand down by 5 early doors. Lananachai the layup. Beautiful, patient play from Thailand. We saw glimpses of this yesterday. Execution let them down, 26% from the field as mentioned, but they did play well in spurts against Korea. Korea though with the deeper team as Tvig gets the mid-range to go. But Korea with the deeper team able to execute a little more consistently as Pimcorn misses the 3 at the top. Here is Heiss Even, sees a bit of daylight inside as Kaubal blocked his path. Here is Even from 7 foot, and he'll go to the line for a couple. And a timeout has been called on the floor. 6:32 to play in the first period. And the Netherlands have a 9-4 lead as we continue the road to Ottawa, the IWBF World Championships that will take place between the 9th and the 19th of September. Of course, adjacent to the men's repechage, the women's repechage started in Spain yesterday as well. And a European trio of victories for Germany, France and Spain. Of course, here in the men, host nation Canada, Great Britain, Italy, Germany, Spain, Turkey, USA, Argentina, Colombia, Australia, Japan and Morocco have already booked their tickets. In September, 4 teams will qualify from this men's repechage. As Heiss Even at the line for the Netherlands, strings the first. Heiss Even, who certainly provides energy mainly off the bench for the Dutch, but in previous tournaments has started, and obviously we're seeing that here today. A very renowned defender, but right now having a good offensive spell for the Netherlands in the early going. Here is Siprom for Thailand. Jumrin gets it patted away by Even. Shot clock winding down. Good defense from the Dutch. Here is Tvig. Inside to Pogenvish, there is even. And the ball will go out of bounds, it will stay with the Netherlands. As we just tidy up the baskets before we can reset play. Heiss even. Here is Tvig. Finds even again. Heiss even, the mid-range is good. Heiss even right now with 9 points. As said, a defensive-minded player, but offensively really getting going in the early stages of this game. Jumrin rattles around and out. And even his second rebound. And now goes all the way to the middle. Down Main Street, too strong, gets his own rebound, hits the deck. And a whistle has gone. Well, yesterday we saw a near full house cheer on Thailand against Korea. It's a little bit of a smaller crowd here today, but still in great sounds, making a lot of noise, which is great to see. Of course, wheelchair basketball, very popular here in Thailand. As Tvig misses the shot. Of course, the women's team out in Spain for the women's repechage as well. Here is Pimkorn inside as Singdong hits the deck. And it'll be a Dutch ball as Frank de Jong into the game for the first time. Oh, excuse me, actually, he was one of the starters. Pogenvish inside. Pogenvish doesn't get it to fall. Heiss even the rebound. And he'll head to the line. As Heiss even, again, an incredible start for him. Certainly the main offensive threat right now for the Dutch, for a team that has relied offensively on Ari Tvig doing the majority of the scoring at the European Championships last October in Sarajevo. With Pogenvish pulling the strings, he gets the steal there, but blows the layup. Singdong, and a foul away from the ball. So Thailand will keep it. 4:12 to play here in the first. Pimkorn. Pimkorn launches a three, that's long. And Pogenvish his third rebound. Even. Heiss even right down Main Street. Beautiful chair control. And the finish. Heiss even now moves on to 11. Jumrin rebounded again by Even. 5 rebounds already for Even. Even now going coast to coast, it seems. Instead, he'll give it up. Here is Tvig. Tvig dumps it off. Poggenfish under the basket. And right now, the Netherlands flexing the muscles. Pimkorn inside as Kalbu misses the handle. And an offensive foul away from the ball. And that'll be on Even. That'll be his first foul. As a timeout is called by Thailand. Frank Bellan, the Thailand coach, has seen enough. Great spell from the Netherlands, who started well. They had a couple of minutes of uncertainty. They missed a few shots, but they have certainly recovered. And Even with 11 points on 4 of 6 shooting, along with 4 rebounds, has certainly led the way for the Dutch. 17-4, a 13-point advantage for the Netherlands in their first game here at the IWBF Men's Repechage. Well, we'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone watching on the IWBF YouTube channel. Great to have you all on board wherever you are across the world. And whatever time it might be, it's the early hours in Europe, or very early morning, excuse me, now in Europe. As Thailand looking to find a bit of rhythm here. And a 3 is good from Singdong. That'll do. Right out of the timeout, just one pass. And Singdong, all the confidence to bury an open 3. And Tvig looks to respond, can't. And Jumjin with the rebound, and he gets fouled as well. And maybe that 3 from Athin Singdong can inspire Thailand a little bit. Pimkorn. There is Jumreen. The open man is Singdong again. Singdong over Tvig, or excuse me, Even. And back-to-back scores for Athin Singdong. Under 2 to play in the first. Lovely pass from Even, intended for Poggenvish. They still have it, the Dutch. Even. Cahill is wide open at the foul line. Even goes it alone, goes glass, no good. Here is Pimkorn. And a foul has been called. And that will actually send Thailand to the line. Netherlands now in the penalty. It's on Ari Tvig. And the Thailand players still believe that they have possession. In fact, they have free throws, as Kwanchai Pimkorn will now head to the stripe. Pimkorn, who brought a lot of energy for Thailand yesterday against Korea. One of the main playmakers of this Thai side. as he'll get another bite of the cherry as one of the Dutch players came out a bit too quickly. As he misses the second, there is Jumrino on the follow. Well, out of this timeout, Thailand have certainly been a little more positive. They've executed a little better. Pogenvish, here is Even. Even under pressure, gets it to fall and won. The perfect response from the Dutch. And Heis Even, what a first quarter he's had. That's 5 of 8 from the field. He has 13 points. 1:03 to play in the first. Pimcorn. Pimcorn was looking for Sunjay. Here is Ramjin inside, the miss from Loy Trekan. As Heis Even has it, with 35 seconds to go in the first. Pogenvish comes out. Lovely, patient build-up there. De Jong can't get the finish to go. There might have been a deflection. And now it's a foot race, and a foul is called. And the Dutch not happy with the call. That's another foul on Even. That's his second foul. And the Dutch already in the penalty, so Thailand will get a couple at the strike. As Kitsana Sunjay will look for his first points of this contest. As more Thailand fans trickle into the Suphanburi indoor stadium. Rattles in the second. It's been a good first quarter from Thailand as we wind down the first 10 minutes here. Pogenvish in transition for the Dutch. He'll come out. Wisely trying to use up the clock. Even on the turnaround is short and a whistle has gone. However, the game clock has expired. Just see what's going on here. And that will actually do it for the first period. And after a promising start, the Netherlands, who led by as many as 13, have had their lead trimmed from 13 points down to 7 at the end of the first period, but they still lead 19-12. Heis Even getting it done. What a first quarter he has had. 13.6 rebounds. Leading the way for the Netherlands. Ari Tvig with 4 points, 4 assists. Athens Singdong with 5 points, leading the way for Thailand. As we welcome you to Suphanburi, the city of gold here in central Thailand. This Group A encounter. Of course, later on we will see the 2 Group B games as Poland take on Senegal. Of course, Senegal losing out to Iran yesterday in a spirited performance by the African side. And at 4 o'clock local time, it'll be Iran against Brazil to see out day 2. All games, of course, live on the IWBF YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As more Thailand fans trickle into the Suphanburi indoor stadium and get ready for the second quarter, which will look to see Thailand try and build on the momentum they've had in this first period into the second. But Siprom, who struggled with foul trouble yesterday against Korea, has been a little more disciplined, misses his first attempt of the second, but gets the rebound off the miss from Tvig. Here he goes, right down the lane, and the finish. Ponascorn Siprom with so much confidence. Saw a lane and exploited it. Ari Tvig puts it in. As the noise intensifies here in Suphanburi and an offensive foul is called on Pimkorn. Zontinger into the game alongside Van Hunik. Here is Tvig. Van Hunik, a two off the window. First field goal for Boris Van Hunik. Here is Siprom. Singdong looking for help, 6 to shoot for Thailand. They get the steal, do the Dutch, and a foul has been called. Here is Tvig, and Zontinger will bring it up. Tvig. A lot of time on the shot clock for the Netherlands. Zontinger. Van Huning. Goes for another shot, gets it to go. Boris Van Huning off the bench with 4 quick points. And ball batted out of bounds by Quentin Zontinger. And Thailand will get the ball back. You feel the defensive intensity now just creeping up a little bit from the Netherlands. Something that head coach Peter van Noord certainly preaches. He won't like that though, allowing Sunjai to just have a free lane to the basket, but the Dutch can breathe a sigh of relief. Thailand certainly moved very well off the ball. Just execution thus far has been lacking just a little bit as Ari Tvig buries a mid-range. The Netherlands have shot over 50% for the majority of this contest. Currently at 51% from the field. Conversely, Thailand just 35%. Pimkorn sees a bit of daylight, can't get that to fall. And Robin Pogenvish, yet another rebound. That's 4 for him. Tvig gives it up this time. Van Huning can a foul. Boris van Hoonink with an incredible introduction in the second period. The young man is everywhere right now as he has a chance at the foul line. That's a three-point play. He moves on to 7 points. And Coach Belen of Thailand just having a chat with our officials and having a little laugh as well while we're at it. As Thailand will make some substitutions. Natakan Chautrakan comes into the game for the first time for Thailand. We saw a lot of him off the bench yesterday against Korea. Didn't shoot the ball very well, but brought a lot of energy, a lot of spark. Siprom. Jumreen also back into the game. And nearly loses the ball, still has it. Goes a little closer to the basket. And Zontinger with the rebound. Pogenvish. Ari Tvig. Ari Tvig is feeling it right now. 6 points in this second period already for Ari Tvig. Siprom. Lobs it wide and it's welcomed in by Jumreen. Pass deflected, still has it though Thailand. Shot clock winding down. That did go off in time. As Chautrakan got the shot off, here is Jumreen. Kitsana was wide open there, Kitsana Shundai. A wild shot, but a foul is called as Natakan Chautrakan was hammered by 2 Dutch players, and he'll go to the line for a couple. Thailand currently 1 of 4 from the foul line here today. They were 4 of 10 yesterday against Korea. And one thing about Thailand that they can look to exploit against the Dutch is they are aggressive on the offensive glass. They had 9 second chance points yesterday against Korea. But for a team that likes to push the ball, they didn't score any points in the fast break yesterday. And that's something that the Dutch will look to exploit in this one. As Zontinger misses the 2. There is Tvig at the top, a 3. No. Jumreen the rebound. Jumreen now with his 5th rebound of this contest. Goes to the elbow and short with the 2. Pogenvish collects the loose ball, and here is Robin Pogenvish. Van Hoonink. Van Hoonink is feeling it right now. Four of 4 from the field for Boris Van Hoonink. Jumreen. Siprom. And as the shot clock was winding down, good perimeter defense there from the Netherlands as Chautrakan had to put up a wild 3-point attempt. Well, with 6 minutes played in this second period, and the Dutch have certainly clamped down and stamped their authority on proceedings. A 15-4 second period thus far. And that man right there, Van Hoonink, has been at the heart of it. That's his first miss from the field. He was 4 of 4 before that mid-range. As Kalbu misses the short 2, and Van Hoonink was actually the man who closed him down. Here is Pogenvish. Tvig. Ari Tvig, patient, looking to get to his spot, and he banks it home. A 20-point lead now for the Netherlands. Siprom, Jumreen, Chaltrakun misses everything with that too. Here is Pogenvish. Tvig. It's a wild pass intended for Van Hoonink. Netherlands retain control. 3 to shoot. Van Hoonink again. $11 points in this second period. Off the bench for Boris Van Hoonink. Jumreen. Chaltrakun. Jumreen gets it back. Chaltrakun, great defense from Tvig. And a whistle has gone. And I think a technical foul has been called on the Thailand bench. We'll just wait and see. Actually, I think a timeout might have been called. In fact, it has. Where we are compared to on the court, we're quite far away. I almost thought there was a technical that was called, but a timeout has been called with the Dutch in firm control here in the Suphanburi Indoor Stadium. 38-16 to the good. After a very nicely poised first 10 minutes, the Netherlands have accelerated away from their Asian counterparts. A 19-4 second quarter thus far. Of course, coming up at the conclusion of this game, Poland, who got a hard-fought win yesterday against Brazil. They will take on Senegal, with Iran and Brazil rounding up day 2 here in the City of Gold. Pogenvish. Zontinger. Van Hoonink. He is feeling it, isn't he? But he misses that attempt. Korkmaz into the game for the first time. Van Hoonink again. Korkmaz on the other side is wide open. Van Hoonink goes it alone. Zontinger the offensive rebound. Here is Mustafa Korkmaz. He'll launch and he'll connect. Mustafa Korkmaz gets the steal as well. 1 minute and 9 remaining in the first half. Van Hoonink can't hang on. In fact, it's an offensive foul anyway. And that'll be a first foul on the youngster. Well, despite a lackluster second quarter from Thailand, their fans still making a lot of noise. Another turnover from Thailand. The ball now goes out of bounds and it will stay with the men in orange. or white and orange. Here is Korkmaz. Under a minute to play in the half. Korkmaz at the foul line. Lovely dump-off pass. And the ball goes out of bounds. As Tim van Ramsdonk into the game as well. Looked for the layup, but got it rejected. Here is Zuntinger. 8 to shoot for the Netherlands. Korkmaz. Netherlands have got to dance here. They've got to throw something up. Korkmaz, no. Another offensive rebound. As Jumrien swipes it away from Van Hunink. And the Netherlands will keep possession. 29 seconds on the game clock and 8 to shoot. Zuntinger. Van Hunink, who's had the hot hand, but misses his third straight. After missing his, after hitting his first 4, he's now missed his last 3. Final seconds of the half. Jumrien. Ball is loose. Cypron has it. Cypron throws it up, and he'll go to the line. Shot clock, game clock is showing 0. There will be a little bit of time put on as our officials just heading over. Diego Borghini, our referee from Uruguay, just having a chat with the table just to see how many seconds will be put back onto the game clock. And it's just 1/10 of a second, so not really much to do once these free throws go down as Cypron makes the first. Certainly the main offensive threat for this Thailand team, but has struggled so far. Just 4 points, 1 field goal in the first half, and that'll do it. And it's been a good second period for the Netherlands after a difficult first period, adjusting to a game day here in Suphanburi. This is, of course, their first game day after a impromptu day off yesterday. But so far, so good for Peter van Noord's team. They lead 40 to 18. 3 players in double figures. Heis even leading the way with 13. Ari Tvig has 12 and Boris van Hunink has 11 points. All of those points coming in the second period. For Thailand, Athin Singdong leads the way with 5 points on 2 of 3 shooting. However, he did not score in the second period. And so far, so good for the European side. They lead 40 to 18. Will this strong capacity here in the indoor stadium have something to shout about, though, in the third period? We'll be back in roughly 12 minutes' time to find out. Welcome back to the Suphanburi Indoor Stadium here in central Thailand. It is the 2026 IWBF Men's Repechage as the road to the World Championships in Ottawa, Canada in September heats up. And right now you are locked in to the Netherlands and Thailand, the host nation. The Netherlands hold a 40-18 lead on the back of a very strong 21-6 second period, where Boris van Huynink dominated off the bench with 11 points, all in that second period. Heis even leads the way with 13. Ari Tvig has been a good supporting cast with 12 points and 6 assists. For Thailand, after a very competitive first 10 minutes, kind of fell off a little bit in the second. However, Athin Singdong leads the way with 5 points. As the Poland players watching on for this third quarter, trying to share a joke as well with us here on the commentary box. Josh Bett, my co-commentator, is beside me as well. Of course, Poland in action at the conclusion of this contest, looking to continue their unbeaten start. They will play Senegal, which will tip off at 1:45 local time. As both teams come out onto the floor. For the Netherlands, they will conclude their group phase games tomorrow against Korea. Thailand will have their impromptu day off. Of course, Venezuela were the other team in Group A. They had to pull out. As we start the third period, here is Van Huynink off the glass, no good. Whistle has gone. And due to Venezuela's withdrawal, the winner of Group B, which of course has Brazil, Poland, Iran and Senegal, will automatically qualify to the World Championships in Ottawa, which will have a remaining 3 places up for grabs on Thursday. Shot clock winding down for Jumreen, misses the mid-range. Zontinger, Van Huynink, Peter van Noord keeping faith in his bench players in this third period. Van Huynink again misses. Van Ramsdonk the rebound, can't get the putback to go. And Van Huynink misses the 2. Excuse me, that was Jelmer van Brunschot, who's into the game for the first time for the Netherlands. A newcomer to this Dutch side, the number 40. As Van Huynink, who has really not been afraid, he's been given the green light to shoot. He will go to the stripe for the Dutch, strings the first, and their lead balloons further. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to everyone on the IWBF YouTube channel. Great to have you all on board here in Thailand. Of course, later on in the day, if you're in Europe, if you're just settling down for your morning coffee, morning tea, the IWBF Women's Repechage taking place in Spain. As the European sides, Germany, Spain and France, have taken a stranglehold of the games over in Europe right now. as the miss there from Kalbu. Zontinger. Van Hunik. There is De Jong. De Jong can't get the friendly roll. It was thinking about it. Jumreen. And Jumreen gets it back and strings a two. Van Huning. Inside De Jong. De Jong puts it in. Wide open shot. No good from Kalbu. And Adisak Kalbu struggling a little bit from the field. He's had some good open looks. There is Zontinger. Zontinger, no hesitation. Jumreen. And Jumreen travels with it. Good defense there from Jelmer van Bronschoot. And the Netherlands get the ball back. Thailand's 8th turnover of this contest. The Dutch have only turned the ball over 3 times as van Bronschoot misses the short 2. Pinkorn. Great defense along the perimeter from the Dutch. They get the open man. Good spacing from Thailand, and the finish from Lananachai. Spreading the ball out, making the Netherlands stretch in defense. Thailand have not done that much in this game. Zontinger. There is De Jong. And there is Van Huning, and at the second attempt gets it to go. Cypron. Cypron with 5 to shoot, can't get that 3 to fall. Rebounded by Van Ramsdonk. There is Zontinger. There is Van Bronschoot, the 2. That's his first field goal. Jumreen. Ball deflected and taken by the Netherlands. Here is Van Huning. Zontinger. Van Huning gets it back. Still has it. Zontinger in the wing. 6 to shoot. Brunshot. No. Van Ramsdonk nearly got the rebound. The ball is loose, collected by Thailand. Lananachai will slow it down. Here is Suphanburi. Van Hoonink a midi. And the gap is now 30. 3:46 to play here in the third period. Ball is loose, the Netherlands collect again. The Netherlands, who have only scored 5 points, in transition, looking to build on that, but they were stopped at mid-court. Whistle has gone. Substitutions now coming in for Thailand. As Natakan Chautrakan comes into the game, as does Anthin Singdong. Thailand fans breaking out into a rendition of "We Will Rock You" by Queen, as Lananachai misses the mid-range. Here is Chautrakan. Lovely pass inside, and the finish from Suphanburi. Only his second field goal in this game. As the ball is loose, as Van Ramsdonk can't hang on. Kalbu with the steal. There is Suphanburi again. And nearly got another one to fall. This time the Thailand players swarm the paint. So do the Netherlands. Whistle has gone. Substitutions coming in for the Dutch and for Thailand. More actually so for Thailand. As Ohitrachakan comes into the game for Thailand. And Adisak Kalbu comes out. Zontinger the rebound off the missed free throw from Singdong. There is Van Hoonink all the way. "19 points for Boris Van Hoonink. Chuck in 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Suphanburi. Whistle has gone before Chautrakan could drive to the basket. That's an offensive foul, and the Netherlands will get the ball back. And it's a third foul on Kitsana Sunjai. Here is Van Hoonink. Puts it in. Zontinger was there for the offensive rebound. But the Netherlands now creeping back up to 50% from the field. Suphanburi. He launches long. Ball is loose. It goes out of bounds. It will be a Netherlands possession. Van Brunschot. He goes for the mid-range and he puts it in. And right now the Netherlands feeling it from the field. And there's nothing really more that Thailand can do. Suphanburi. Singdong. Chautrakan. They are passing the ball around nicely, Thailand. 3 to shoot, though. That misses everything from Suphanburi. And the finish again, this time it's Van Ramsdonk. Under a minute to play, and the Netherlands now really accelerating away after a disappointing first quarter for them. They have come out blazing. Cypron misses the two. And the whistle has gone. It'll be a Thailand ball as Van Bronschot lifted the chair. Chaltrakan. Can't get that to fall. On the follow, though, was Singdong off the miss from Cypron. As we have a whistle away from the ball as Van Huynink hits the deck. I think the foul has been called on the number 21, Cypron. As we have the final seconds of this first quarter, the behind-the-back pass was met with Quentin Zuntinger hitting the deck hard. And that's two quick fouls for Paniskorn Cypron with 2.4 left on the clock in this third period. A 41-14 second and third period thus far for the Netherlands, who have really asserted their dominance in this battle. As the host nation really struggling here going into the fourth period. We are 2.4 seconds away from the end of the third as Mustafa Korkmaz comes back into the game for the Dutch. And Quentin Zuntinger heads to the bench. Final seconds. And Van Bronschot doesn't get that to fall, and that ends quarter number 3 here in Suphanburi. And the Netherlands have a commanding 60-26 advantage over Thailand. Boris Van Huynink, a game high 21 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists off the bench for the Dutch. Heijseven has 13 and Ari Tvig has 12. But Heijseven and Ari Tvig barely seeing time in the third period, as coach Peter van Noord letting his bench players get the job done. And Thailand here, led by coach Frank Belen, you can see there just trying to get some positivity from his players. And they're a very talented team, this Thailand unit. They play as a team. They're run by Paniskorn Cypron, their main offensive threat. However, he's been relatively quiet in this contest. Just 2 for 11 from the floor. Jumri No flirting with a double-double, 6 points and 9 rebounds for him, the number 51. But the Netherlands, with their quickness, their strength, their depth, right now too much for Thailand as we enter the fourth and final period of this contest. Of course, as mentioned, the conclusion of this game, 1:45 local time, it will be Poland against Senegal. with Iran and Brazil rounding up day 2. Of course, check all your local listings to make sure that you have the correct time wherever you are across the world as we start corner number 4. And Thailand straight away on the attack, but Kalbu misses the 2 inside. And here is Robin Pogenvish seeing some game time after the first period. Tvig. As a foul has been called as Fabian Janssen into the game for the first time. And Fabian Janssen will head to the stripe to see if he can get his first points for the Netherlands. Was part of the Dutch team in Sarajevo last October, only played cameo minutes but played very well in spurts. Plays his basketball in Germany as he misses the second. Singdong. Ball is loose. That would have been a Thailand ball, I think, as well, had it gone out of bounds. Pogenvish has it. Whistle has gone. Offensive foul, the call. Janssen. Tvig. Sweeps it wide and it hits Pogenvish on the head. They still have it. Janssen. And they turn the ball over. As Mongol Tunsgaard into the game for the first time, anticipating where that pass was going. Here is Singdong. Kalbu. Kalbu lets fly. That's short. It's rebounded by Pogenvish. 8 rebounds, for Robin Pogenvish to go with 6 assists. Van Huynink on the turn and he puts it down. Chaltrakan. As he'll get a break in play as Kitsana Sunjai on the floor. Got to give it up for these Thailand fans. They're down 62-26, but their fans have been absolutely tremendous. So much enthusiasm, so much noise being made here at the indoor stadium by those Thailand fans. As Tunsgaard with his first field goal of the repechage. Pogenvish. Van Huynink on the spin and he is fouled. And he'll go to the line for a couple. Well, Boris Van Huynink, what a performance he had. He didn't see any minutes in the first period, but made his first 4 field goal attempts in the second period, and thus far 10 of 18 from the field for his 23 points. Those are his first misses from the foul line, though, in this game. Tvig. Janssen inside. Janssen falling away, can't get it to fall. And it's rebounded by Sunjai, but a foul has been called. So you see there our Australian referee Ethan Lloyd, his first international tournament here in Thailand. Has done a few Asia Oceania events, but this is his first world event. Here is Kalbu, but loses the ball. Van Hunik has it. Pogenvish. Van Hunik, lovely pass from Pogenvish, but Van Hunik can't get it to fall. Sunjai. Here is Kalbu. Kalbu travels with it. He was looking for the no-look pass as well to Tunskard, but travelled before he could let the pass go. And a timeout has been called on the floor. And the Netherlands comfortable at the moment, 62-28 to the good. Well, it is the road to Ottawa here in Suphanburi. Of course, the teams already qualified for the World Championships: Canada, Great Britain, Italy, Germany, Spain, Turkey, USA, Argentina, Colombia, Australia, Japan and Morocco. Of course, the women's repechage happening as well. Day 2 commencing a bit later on in the day in Spain. Canada, the Netherlands, Great Britain, China, Japan, USA, Brazil and Algeria have qualified in the women's draw. Of course, that tournament, the showpiece, will take place from September the 9th to the 19th. Of course, check IWBF.org for all the information, and like, follow, whatever you have to do on all the IWBF social media channels. Korkmaz on the catch and shoot. Singdong. Here is Singdong again. Almost double teamed there with Pogenvish and Janssen. As Kalbu lets fly, and Janssen will let that ball go out of bounds. Here is Pogenvish, who averaged a double-double at the Euros in October. As Korkmaz goes for glory again, this time misses. Singdong. Singdong puts it down. Singdong now with 9 points. Korkmaz. Tvig. Korkmaz gets it back. Shot clock at 8. Tvig to the foul line. There is Anil Chehil, but he misses the 2 inside. Nananachai. Nananachai looking for Adasak Kalbu, but the ball goes out of bounds. A whistle has gone before that. And Thailand will keep possession, as we have a first foul. I think on Janssen. As the shot is up and no good by Waichang Yaibalang, who's into the game for the first time and seeing his first minutes of the men's repechage, the number 23. Here is Pogenvish, stolen away by Yibuyalang. Singdong. Over halfway now in the final period. Singdong still has it. Puts up a long 2, that's off to the left. And here is Pogenvish. Despite the scoreline, both teams still going at it. A lot of energy. Janssen inside, and he'll go to the line for a couple. One thing about the Netherlands is despite the score, they will play at a high tempo. They will be in your face. Pogenvish, of course, one of the more dynamic players on this Dutch team, who thrives on getting his teammates involved, seeing a few extra minutes here in this fourth period. He's not been needed as much as he usually is accustomed to. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists he averaged at the European Championships last October in Sarajevo, as Janssen misses the first. Misses them both. Pogenvish the rebound. And Pogenvish now moves on to 10 rebounds. Here he is on the ball. There is Korkmaz, a good mid-range shooter. We've seen that a couple of times in this game. Can't get that to fall. Adesak Kaubu. Singdong. Right down Main Street. He was looking for Yibialang, but couldn't find him. Shot clock at 8. And that goes out of bounds as a wayward pass from Kaubu. And the ball goes right into the Dutch bench, almost right onto the lap of assistant coach Haj Banya. Korkmaz. Tvig. Great passing again from the Netherlands. The miss there, though, from Vigo Sudavan, who's into the game as well. There is Tvig. Fakes his man, finds Janssen. Janssen banks it home. The momentum, the intensity has not changed since the second quarter for the Netherlands. That's another turnover from Thailand, and the Netherlands will get it back on their side of the floor. The Thailand fans breaking into song and dance. They might be down, but they're having fun in the stands. Not sure their players are at the moment, but they're still going to compete. They're still going to play hard, as Lananachai with the steal and the finish. Bit of room service for Thanakorn Lananachai, and he moves on to 6. Janssen a steal, and Thailand get the ball. That's a promising little spell here from the host. Singdong has it. And they'll slow it down. And it's a shot clock violation. They weren't aware that the shot clock was winding down. Mongol Tunsgaard wanted to slow it down. Our referees are just going to double check, actually, because Thailand players are a bit confused as to why the shot clock was so quick. It caught both teams a bit unaware, but we'll just see what's going on. Brief break in play, as we see Avi Tvig just chatting to Ethan Lloyd, our Australian official, who we've just mentioned earlier, appearing in his first world event. And our other two officials, Diego Borchini and Xinjiang Jing of China, now just having a chat. And we're going to put 10 seconds back on the shot clock for Thailand. So Thailand have 10 seconds left to get an offense up here. Tunsgaard. And they get the finish as well. Kaubu with the score under the hoop. That's his first field goal after missing his first 6 attempts. Tvig. Pogenvish. Sudavan buries a two. First field goal for the youngster. Singdong. Under two to play in what has been a masterclass from the Dutch from the second period onwards. Thailand had a good intensity about them at both ends of the floor in the first quarter. They forced a couple of turnovers from their European counterparts, but from the second quarter, the Netherlands certainly put their foot on the gas and certainly accelerated away. Korkmaz rattles in a midi, and they will certainly get the win here in their first game. As the Dutch will move on to 2-0. Of course, a 20-0 forfeit against Venezuela in what was scheduled to be their opening game, as Kalbu hits second field goal for him. But it'll be all in vain. The Netherlands, with time management on their side, they're going to hold it as much as they can. Ari Tvig, with good body control under the cup, gets it to go. The Netherlands, whose field goal percentage creeping above 50 again. It's been on and off between 48 and 51% pretty much all game long. 7 to shoot for Thailand here, as the shot is good from Thunsgaard. And the shot clock is off, and the Netherlands will hold it, and that'll do it. Well, the Netherlands have started with a W here in Suphanburi. They have defeated Thailand 72-38 here in the opening game of day 2. Boris van Huynink off the bench, leading all scorers, 23 points, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Ari Tvig had 14, Heisseven had 13, all 13 of those points for Heisseven coming in the first half. Robin Pogenvish flirting with a double-double, 11 rebounds, 9 assists, only 2 points. For Thailand, 3 players with 6 points. Sathin Singdong leading the way with 9 points and 7 rebounds. Danakorn Latanachai with 6, Ponskorn Siprom and Agasit Jumrin all with 6. But despite defeat, the Thailand fans showing their appreciation to their heroes on the floor. A promising show from the hosts, but they slump to a second straight loss here on home floor. The Netherlands get their campaign underway finally with a win. Up next, it is Poland against Senegal. That is due to tip off in around 45 minutes time. But for now, I'm John Hobbs, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.